Carl has more reaction on the big speak from Washington. And Carl, what's the take we're looking at right now?
Well, Beck, we're watching futures to see how investors are going to react to the speech from last night. But also as important is how legislators and congressmen are going to be paying attention in the days to come. Probably nobody knows that better than Eric Cantor, Republican from Virginia, and the minority whip who joins us here in the Cannon Rotunda. Great to have you, Congressman. Welcome, as always.
Thank you, Paul.
What did you hear last night? Was it that the era of big government is back, or is it harder to pin down than that?
Well, I think the devil's going to be in the details. Clearly, the president laid out a broad array of issues that we need to work on, number one being the economy. But I think what's important is to look at what's going on here on Capitol Hill. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we passed out a spending package with interest over $1 trillion. Today, we'll be doing an omnibus spending bill that'll be another $500 billion. That's almost $1 trillion a week. And look, we've got to inject some common sense back into what's going on here on Capitol Hill. We got to stop spending money we don't have, and frankly, we ought not be looking at raising taxes on businesses and people when they can't afford them.
Right. Well, how much will the party push back on that, and what kind of taxes? I mean, is it capital gains? Is it everything? And where does that fall in the priority of things you can do? Because the math on the Hill is not necessarily in your favor.
Well, at the end of the day, there's got to be accountability. And the president was very emphatic last night that we have got to have transparency and that what we do has got to work. And what's got to work right now is we've got to focus on the banking system, and we've got to get credit flowing again. And the last thing we should be doing is talking about raising taxes. So when he talked about 95% of the people in this country will get a tax cut, that's one thing, because we know that's payroll taxes. Some people will be getting refunds that are not paying income taxes. But at the end of the day, we've got to worry about economic policy, and we know that tax policy can certainly help people by giving incentives to them to put their capital to work.
Markets were encouraged yesterday by the chairman on the Hill, Chairman Bernanke, talking about banks and the limits to which governments would let public ownership take over. Did you hear the president walk that back at all?
Well, again, we'll have to see as the days go forward.
But he was not as forceful as the chairman, by any means.
Absolutely not. But I'm hopeful, as you are, to see that the market responds positively. We ought not be talking about any kind of major collapse, and we ought to be very focused on how we can provide the support, but how we can have the private sector take hold again so that the government isn't the one with the 800-pound gorilla status in the markets.
President's approval ratings haven't eroded significantly. Some of the poll numbers show that a decent proportion of Americans are still looking for rescue packages for autos and so forth. How long can the Republican Party, even symbolically, let legislation go with not a single vote in support, but still watching it go by even so?
Well, Carl, the experience in the stimulus package really was about the House Republicans having a plan. We did have a plan that we felt was much more focused on job preservation and growth. The analysis that we applied showed that it would create twice the amount of jobs with half the cost. And as long as we are posing alternatives and a positive solution, I believe we'll continue to try and work with this president. And it may not be just always zero votes, but we've got to work to ensure that our policies ensure the federal government starts to work again, because the policies in place thus far have not produced results.
Whenever we come down to D.C., traders want us to ask if there's an appetite on the Hill to do something regarding accounting that would take pressure off of financials. Mark to market, for instance. Is there a hunger for that right now, or is that just too much? Is there too much else going on to focus on that?
We hear that over and over again from the constituents and the businesses that we represent, that this mark-to-market accounting, the way that it's been implemented, has so skewed the markets, and that we need to do that. And I think that the fact that we could do that and it wouldn't cost the taxpayers any money is probably a good thing right now, seeing that we are sending these trillions of dollars out every single week. Who's paying for this? So, I think, Carl, there is some appetite for it. We'll have to stress this with the administration because we need to make that happen.
Right. What do you see for the budget? There's been some reports that 9,000 earmarks, perhaps, in the budget that we're going to be looking at this week. Is there any ammunition for the party to use
well, listen,
at this point?
Carl, we were at a fiscal responsibility summit at the White House. This is the first place we ought to apply that responsibility. We ought to have some sense knocked into this earmark process. The people of this country understand this is all an out-of-control process that we need to rein back in.
Yeah, the president took great pains to say the stimulus package had none. but it may be harder to make that argument this time.
You better believe it.
Yeah. You and he have an interesting relationship going that he seems to refer to in various press conferences. This is a bit of sound from the president at that fiscal responsibility summit on Monday.
I'm going to keep on talking to Eric Cantor. Someday, sooner or later, he's going to say, boy, Obama had a good idea. It's going to happen. You watch. You watch.
What's going on there? What's that about?
Well, listen, I'm taking it all in good spirit, that we can have a little humor, but, around a very serious subject. And the fact that the Republicans were united against the stimulus bill reflected what we felt was a very poorly put together piece of legislation. It was, frankly, in response to what the Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, said, never miss an opportunity to take advantage of a crisis, to do some things that you always wanted to do and couldn't get done. Those things are in the past. We ought not be just cranking up the spending here. We need to focus our efforts and the taxpayer dollars on creating an environment for job growth. And we just did not feel that that stimulus package did that in any kind of concerted way.
And nothing you heard last night leads you to believe your party needs to retool your opposition strategy. It is business as we knew it before last night.
No, Carl, what we have decided is we're going to insist on some common sense. Again, we don't have unlimited money. You can't keep paying for everything. And so the policies we put in place have to be focused. It has to be driven towards getting this economy back on track. You can't just pick every spending program off the shelf and expect that somehow will miraculously encourage this economy to recover.
You've got a big week ahead, and it's only Wednesday. That's good to see you, Congressman. Thanks so much for your time.
Carl, thank you.
Eric Cantor from Virginia. Joe, we'll send it over to you.